After control begins to loosen, another structure often comes into focus. Certainty, not clarity, not understanding. Certainty as the need to know where you stand, what something means, or how things will turn out. For much of our lives, certainty feels essential. It gives us ground. It gives us orientation. Tells us what to do next. We're taught to seek it early. Be sure of yourself. Know what you believe. Have a plan. Stand on something solid. And when awareness begins, that habit doesn't disappear. Often, it intensifies. We want to know what's happening to us. We want to name the shift. We want to understand where this path leads. Certainty feels like safety, but at some point, certainty begins to feel heavy, not reassuring, constraining. I noticed this shift when answers stopped calming me. When explanations didn't settle my body the way they used to, I could understand what was happening and still feel restless. That's when I realized certainty wasn't actually providing stability. It was just postponing uncertainty. Living without certainty doesn't happen because you reject knowledge. It happens because you see how little knowledge can actually hold. Certainty is a mental structure. It organizes experience after the fact. But life doesn't move from certainty to certainty. It moves from moment to moment. And when you try to live ahead of those moments, armed with conclusions, you end up out of sync. Living without certainty doesn't feel dramatic. It feels quieter. You stop reaching for answers automatically, not because you don't care, because you notice how quickly answers become outdated. You answer a question and life changes. You decide what something means, and the meaning shifts. Certainty tries to freeze life in place. Life refuses. At this stage, you may notice yourself saying, "I don't know," more often, and not apologizing for it. Not rushing to fill the space. That can feel uncomfortable at first, because "I don't know" used to signal danger, unpreparedness, weakness, failure to think things through. But now, "I don't know" feels honest, grounded. It doesn't mean confusion. It means openness. You're no longer pretending to stand on solid ground when the ground is moving. You're letting yourself move with it. Living without certainty doesn't mean you stop making decisions. You still decide. But decisions aren't built on guarantees. They're built on responsiveness. You act based on what's here, not on what you think will be true later. This removes a great deal of pressure. You're no longer trying to predict the future accurately. You're trusting your ability to adjust. Certainty often disguises fear of regret. If I know for sure, I won't choose wrong. If I'm certain, I won't have to face consequences. But certainty has never prevented regret. It has only delayed responsibility. Living without certainty brings responsibility back into the present. You choose knowing you may need to change course, and that's okay. This stage often changes how you relate to beliefs. Beliefs become lighter, not because you abandon them, because you stop using them as armor. You don't need to be certain about what you believe in order to live honestly. You let beliefs inform you, not define you. This makes conversations easier. You don't defend positions as much. You don't feel threatened by disagreement. You're not trying to protect certainty. You're engaging with reality. Living without certainty also affects how you experience anxiety. Before, anxiety was something to eliminate quickly, something that signaled a lack of control or knowledge. Now, anxiety becomes information, not a command. You notice it, you feel it. You don't immediately try to reason it away, and because you're not fighting it, it often softens on its own. Certainty often fueled anxiety by insisting you shouldn't feel unsure. Without that insistence, uncertainty becomes tolerable, even familiar. This stage can feel like standing in open space. There's less mental furniture, fewer conclusions to lean on, but there's also more room to breathe. You're not boxed in by what you think must be true. You're available to what's happening. Living without certainty also reshapes trust. Trust is no longer placed in outcomes or explanations. It's placed in presence. You trust that you can meet what arises without needing to predict it. That trust is quieter than certainty, but it's stronger because it's grounded in experience, not assumption. This is often where people stop seeking the right perspective. They're no longer asking, "What's the correct way to see this?" They're asking, "How does this feel to live right now?" And often they don't even ask that. They live it. This doesn't make you indifferent. It makes you available. Certainty closes doors. Availability keeps them open. Living without certainty also changes how you relate to mistakes and misjudgments. Before, being wrong threatened your sense of safety. It meant your certainty failed. Now, being wrong is expected, normal. You adjust, you learn, you move on. There's no identity collapse. You're not invested in being right. You're invested in being present. This stage can feel humbling, not because you feel small, but because you stop placing yourself above uncertainty. You're not trying to outthink life. You're participating in it. That participation feels more alive than standing on conclusions. Living without certainty doesn't mean you never feel the pull to know again. You will, especially in moments of fear or transition. But when that pull arises, you recognize it. You don't automatically obey it. You don't rush to build a story just to calm yourself. You stay. You breathe. You let the moment unfold. This is deeply regulating, because your nervous system learns that uncertainty isn't dangerous. It's just part of being alive. Season 2 is about releasing the invisible supports that once organized your life. Reference, direction, proof, roles, expectation, control, certainty. Each of these provided structure when awareness was still finding its footing. Now, awareness doesn't need them, can stand on presence. Living without certainty doesn't mean life becomes vague or uncommitted. It becomes responsive. You show up fully without needing guarantees. You love without knowing how it will end. You work without knowing where it will lead. You rest without knowing what comes next. And instead of panic, there's a surprising calm. Not because things are clear, because you're no longer demanding they be. If you've noticed yourself less eager to reach conclusions, if answers feel less important than honesty, if uncertainty feels less threatening than it used to, you're not lost. You're living without certainty, and that doesn't make life fragile. It makes it real. Real life doesn't offer guarantees. It offers moments, and moments don't ask for certainty. They ask for presence. So if this reflection resonated, and you felt it touching something familiar, liking the video helps it reach others who may be learning how to stay present without needing to know. If someone came to mind while listening, sharing it may help them feel less alone in that quiet openness. You're welcome to subscribe if you'd like to continue through this season, not to find answers, but to live honestly without needing them, unfinished.